What's going on YouTube? CoinCapital here, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about another precious metal, and it's going to be palladium. So normally my video discussions are mostly on gold and silver when talking about precious metals, but palladium, PA, is going to be very good metal to hold for the future, I think. And there's wide use and there's a deficit in the metal, keeping prices up high. And there will continue to be demand with deficit in the future, especially when it comes to automobiles, because if you didn't know, the main use of palladium is in catalytic converters, which are for cars, and these are devices that turn most harmful pollutants in the car exhaust system into environmentally friendly compounds like carbon dioxide and water. The catalyst is one of the most used and expensive parts of the car, and the price of this part can be up to like $3,000, and palladium is the metal needed to make it happen. In the past, automakers relied on platinum, but palladium is more cost effective and it has a higher heat and resistance as well as oxidation resistance for the car part itself. So apart from cars, this precious metal is also used in jewelry to make such alloys as white gold, dental fillings and crowns for teeth, and carbon monoxide detectors and ceramic capacitors, which regulate the flow of electricity. A good metal to be used in electrical ports, just like silver, and it's needed for these certain things. The largest reserves of palladium are in South Africa, and that's about 90% of all known reserves. So in South Africa, they have a big holding of palladium. Russia has about 6%, Zimbabwe about 2%, and the US only has 1%. It's not the reserves that really matter though when taken into account. Palladium isn't produced on its own, but as a byproduct of refining nickel, zinc, and copper, and that's highly processed in South America, Russia, Canada, and 6% in the US. So recycling has become important in resourcing palladium as well as keeping it at an elemental scale rather than just separation or alloy of other metals. So that's why it is actually more valuable than gold right now when looking at the price of palladium. At current spot, you can sell it at around $2,200 and buy it at around $2,300. That's current spot for palladium. So it's a pretty expensive metal, but it's going to continue to grow, in my opinion, on the future when looking at prices. So for 2020, prices really went up pretty high, and that was because of a shrinking supply-demand gap, and the supply deficit was about 19 tons or 267,000 ounces of this metal. It actually is a lot because for catalytic converters, only about like 7 grams of the precious metal are needed, so that corresponds to around about like 3 million cars, and this deficit kept the price very high, especially when looking at spot. There was obviously a dip in the March, but now it's rebounded and it's at highs right now. And palladium was also hit hard because of the global car deficit in sales because of coronavirus and lockdown. So for analysis predictions for price targets, by the end of the year, people are expecting it to hit almost $3,000 an ounce, and for the next 5 years, $4,000 an ounce, which would be a very high return compared to now. Palladium is not too easy to get your hands on. Not too many bullion dealers deal with it just because of how scarce and I don't want to use the word unpopular, but yeah, unpopular it is compared to gold and silver. It's not really a highly hyped up metal, but it is a highly valuable metal. What will contribute to this price is growing car sales in China. They're going to use palladium a lot in their products, especially in China, with more people driving and using their automobiles. Another reason for this is shortages. So there expects to be a new deficit quarter 1 and quarter 2 of 2021 in South African production, and it will not be easy to recover this deficit, creating more demand and higher prices in the metal, as well as tighter emission rules, which will need 30% more palladium per vehicle for cleaner emission growth dispersion, and also with uncertainty in the US dollar, which in the economy, which will prove to hype up the price of most metals, including palladium as well. So there's a pretty bullish outlook for this metal. I do not own any, but it's a great metal to look into. I think it's pretty unique in its price. It's definitely not a extremely common metal, but It's definitely nice to look into. So that's why I think Palladium should do well this year and for the next 5 years in the future. Up until 2030, I think we're going to see a very bullish run by Palladium, separate from gold and silver, because it runs a bit differently. But it's going to be pretty similar to platinum. But yeah, that's that. So that's why Palladium is on the watch list, and I think it's a great metal to buy. I'm not a financial advisor or expert. I just do these for entertainment purposes only. So make sure to buy and sell and trade at your own risk, especially when dealing with precious metals. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram at coincapital and my TikTok at coincapital. Thank you guys so much for watching.